another way that you can speak to someone who says they don't have time while applying a little bit more pressure without coming off as brutish or forceful? Because 2 minutes later they can get someone else calling them and they're like, wow, I'll just take the phone call. I'm just curious if you have another way of dealing with that.
Yes. And now, one thing, you just mentioned a rule, right? You just mentioned a preconceived notion that if 2 minutes later somebody else calls them, that person's going to get the deal and I'm not going to get the deal. I want to debunk that a little bit. Not necessarily. If you were skillful when you talked to them last, there's a really good chance that when somebody else calls them, it's going to work to your favor, Mark. And what I mean by that is, if you are skillful, if you deliver insights, if you don't seem desperate, if you come in with high authority and you leave it with a net outcome statement, oftentimes I want the competition to call, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to give me at least an at-bat on that, right? So if I leave with, let's say it was a steel building they're going to buy. Right? Hey, no problem. The way we scoped it out, the price is $47,500. Prices do change because of that. I just want to make sure that we're clear on something. I totally get it that you want to wait, but steel prices are constantly in flux. It's a major commodity. The way it's scoped right now, we're at $47,500. If for some reason, those change and the materials change, I'll work with you to find the next best pricing. Fair enough? Yeah. Now look at how I just left that. Well, dude, we better get on this because steel prices go up, we're toast, right? Not, hey, if you don't jump on this, the price is going to go up. And the other thing I'm not saying is, what do I need to do to get your business, right? Now, leave it with the net outcome statement. If they're like, yeah, we're just not, hey, no problem. We will be here when you guys need additional space at the business, right? We will be here when you guys need to expand. And now, I'm not saying don't ever follow up with them, but leave it like that, and then you got to figure out your cadence. But if you were selling steel buildings, it might be 7 days later. I'm just going to call them, not with my, does it make sense to blank? Hey Mark, it's Matt Easton with Easton Buildings. Calling to see if it makes sense to get the order placed on that warehouse that we had scoped out. I'm on my mobile, 720-660-3202. Now, a week later, guess what I'm going to say? And you guys are going to be like, wait a minute, it can't be this easy. It is. A week later, guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to get your voicemail. Hey Mark, it's Matt Easton with Easton Buildings. Calling to see if it makes sense to move forward on that warehouse we discussed. I'm on my mobile, 720-660-3202. Another rule that you guys have, another preconceived notion that I want to debunk, is that your prospects are paying attention to all of this stuff, the words that come out of your mouth, and they're literally writing down those words. Sorry, they're not. You're not that important. I'm not that important. Nancy's not that important. Mark, you're not that important. They're not going to remember what you said. Okay? So leave the same skillful voicemail over and over again. There's nothing high pressure to it. So what I would do is probably call you once a week saying the same thing. Now, is there a chance that somebody else is going to get in there and steal that deal? Sure. It's very unlikely if I'm skillful. But the chances of that happening versus the chances of me trying to slam somebody and get them to buy that whole buy or die crap, right? They're going to go somewhere else. This is why Jim Fitzpatrick and all of his auto networks have me on. I'm not a car sales specialist, right? But these are the crap that they have that give car sales people a bad name. If this person leaves the lot, they're not going to buy. They're going to go someplace else. Simply not true, right? Set a next step.
Can you repeat the voicemail one more time, like what you would say, the follow-up when you call the first and second time?
Yeah. Calling to see if it makes sense to blank. So, hey Mark, it's Matt Easton with Easton Buildings. Calling to see if it makes sense to order that warehouse. I'm on my mobile, right? And order the warehouse might be the wrong words, but whatever the blank you... Calling to see if it makes sense to sign the agreement on that side building that we were looking at. I'm on my mobile, 720-660. But here's what you got to remove. Hey Matt, it's Mark. I'm just calling to check in. I know I haven't heard from you. Never make your prospects feel bad for not calling you back. The best thing to do, and by the way, the sales coaching that I teach also works in your personal life. If you have to have a relationship with this person, the best thing to do is let the crap go, right? Stop carrying baggage. Right? We do it in our dating. We do it in our marriage. We do it with our kids. Stop punishing them for the past. The past is the past. So I haven't heard from you. it's been 3 weeks and I just wanted to know, the last thing I want to do is be a pest. If you're leaving a voicemail that sounds like, the last thing I wanted to do is be a pest and it's 3 weeks and I haven't heard back from you, yeah, you're a pest. But if you're skillful, hey Mark, it's Matt Easton with Easton University, calling to see if it makes sense to get you access to the sales coaching. I'm on my mobile, 720-660-3202. I'm leaving you that same voicemail. I'm doing it one day, then I'm doing it the day after. I'll just give you my cadence. Then I'm doing it 7 days later. Then I'm doing it 14 days, then once a month. And then at 90 days, right, I'm going to send you a single email. Hey, Mark, have you given up on the sales coaching? Last ditch, grenade, right? Now I'm putting you in my sustainable pipeline. And 6 months later, I'm going to reach back out to you regarding sales coaching. It really is that freaking simple.